Yo, what's up everyone? Alex here from Computer Headquarters, and today I want to talk to you about my chain of command Necromancer. And I don't even feel comfortable saying it's mine, even though I kind of own it. And that's because I pretty much just copied this guy on YouTube. And let's just make sure I did this right. Sorry, I hit the wrong button. Desktop capture, there we go. This guy Rusel, I don't know if it's Russell or Rusel. He is another small YouTuber, and he's made a lot of videos about chains of command, and this one that I show right here is his endgame version, which I will link in the video description. So he put out these bunch of these guides, and I kind of jumped in just recently where we're at a point in 3.26 where a lot of people are calling it dead league, right? So I have a lot of currency, and I was just like, sure, let's give it a whirl. And I had such a bad time with Animate Weapon of Self-Reflection that I kind of wanted to try another Necro build so I wasn't wasting the character that I leveled. And if you haven't seen that Animate Weapon of Self-Reflection video, it's this one right here that has this like anime looking thumbnail on my channel. So if you want to go check that out. But I'm going to try to make this video really fast for a couple of reasons, but the most important one being I'm basically on my lunch break from work right now, and I have a lot of work to do. So I think I can make this very quick and get across the point how much I love this build. And I also want to just say this. The joke I made to my buddy about this build was like, here we go again. I bet I'm just going to make another minion build that I'm not going to like and just have to sell out, put a bunch of gear up for sale again. And I'm very happy to say that was not the case. The build is great. Also, let's go back to desktop capture. Might as well do this trade. Sorry, guys. I know I'm in a hurry and stuff, but 8 Divine is 8 Divine, right? What is it? A shield, probably. Wyvern Scale Gauntlets. Oh, okay. I think I crafted these like a month ago, and then I lowered the price yesterday. Cool. So here's what I'm going to show you as soon as this guy takes my trade. Come on, take the trade, bro. Take the trade. I didn't try to scam you. Okay. Yeah, so reduce POE. Okay, this part of the video, this is where I want to show you like the big difference, because realistically, these builds are kind of similar. Animate Weapon of Self-Reflection and Chains of Command, they're both Necromancer builds. They're both minion builds. And they're kind of both Animate Guardian, Animate Weapon builds, but kind of not. But this is just a clip of the video I put out where I'm like doing Cortex clear. And let's just watch that together, okay? And I heard Master T saying that you got to have that modifier. And he's right. So it's just nice because you can just run through everything. And I'm going to mute myself here so I could talk. This is what I'm doing, right? As I'm playing this build, I'm staring at this number up here in the corner that says 7. And I'm having to, when it drops from 7, I'm having to click and try to get more guys out. And then there's some situation went down to 5 and then went down to 6, went to 5 and 7. So, it's dropping off and I'm having to click more, which isn't, who cares? Like, most builds I've played, I have to click, right? You're attacking or something, you're clicking. But you're kind of micromanaging is the thing I don't like. You're really micromanaging that number instead of just playing the game. And so I didn't like that. And do we really have another trade? It's not. It's only one div. Okay. And let's check out the the boss damage here. It's not super great. And this is the Captain Lance version. I'm using a sword and shield. I think if we fast forward, here's the staff version. Let's just go to the boss because it does have more damage. But at least we can get like a clean comparison here. So here's the boss. This is the staff version. And again, you're micromanaging this number. The staff version seemed to be doing a lot more damage, as you can see here. But doing more damage, but you have to it's not weapon swap, but you're turning on an energy blade, which is kind of like weapon swapping, and then you're turning it off again. And I had so many times where I know I clicked to turn energy blade on, but something happened in the game where it was like, no, you're doing something else, and it didn't really work. So then I couldn't. There's so much crap on the screen because it's POE. I didn't know that my energy blade wasn't out, so then I started making the animated weapons, but they're based on the staff. It's clunky, you know. I didn't like anything of it really. I didn't think anything was that great. And then yeah, so let's give you guys the same map here, right? Cortex. And I'll be honest with you guys, I don't think I've ran one of these since I've got all the gear dialed in. The gear is like, my gear is really good now. Just want to make sure everything looks good. Turn my flash on just at the beginning. So as I'm playing, what I do is like right off the bat, I right click for my Spirit Offering, which gives a bunch of crit. And then we get going, and then you'll see that my Vol Haste gets ready pretty soon, usually after a lot of packs. And then I'm going to just right click again, and then Vol Haste will come back up pretty shortly again, and I'll turn that on again. I mean, I don't even need to be honest with you guys. The damage is so good. I am curious about what dropped back over here because it made a big noise. Calcification. Okay, it's not that big of a deal. What was that noise? Valda's puzzle. I'm not used to seeing this many good drops on Uber Cortex. I do a lot of these. I've probably done like 200 this league. Now, one complaint about this build is that maybe it's a little slow, but I did end up throwing a Quicksilver Flask because I felt like I was tanky enough that I didn't need to worry about having what was the other flask? He had an evasion. What is it? Jade. I think he had a Jade Flask with tier 1 evasion. That when I say he, Rusel. And so I just swapped that out because I felt like I didn't need it. I am interrupting the middle of this video because I want to point out two things that I thought were important about this build that I didn't necessarily understand before until I actually was getting the build going. So number one, how awesome is Chains of Command as an item? I have what is essentially a 9-link thing going on, okay? And let me explain that. So the Chains of Command unique armor says trigger level 20 animate guardian's weapon when animate guardian kills an enemy. Okay, I actually didn't read that correctly the first few times I read it, and I had to research it a little bit more. So there is a skill in this game called animate guardian's weapon. It could theoretically be a gem, right? A skill gem, but it's not. The only way you can get this skill is wearing this armor. But the way it's worded was just confusing to me. I thought it was like saying something about animated weapon in an animated guardian. It was like two different things combined. It's actually just its own skill. Really cool. So by wearing this armor, you have that skill, and anything you put into this armor is a support for that skill. So we have 6 supported skill gems in this, right? So that's a 7-link. And you're like, well, you said 9. Well, guess what else? It also says animated and manifested minions melee strikes deal splash damage to surrounding targets. Awesome. You get like awakened melee or just melee splash. I don't know how good this splash is, but you get a splash for free. It's like you get a splash support for free. That's 8. And then if you're doing what I'm doing, copying Rusel, which is the Ul Natol's Vow amulet, you're getting anything that's socketed into the socket is another support. So that's 9. So 9-link, pretty sick. That's part of why this build is so good. Now, another thing I just want to point out, because I didn't 100% understand it, the first time I tried playing this build, I had an animate guardian that was like leftovers from my last build, which was the animate weapon of self-reflection, and that AG was wearing Kingmaker. I did not understand how important it is to get a Void Forge, and I was thinking it's kind of silly, and yeah, so I researched it more, I played it, it didn't feel that great, and I wasn't surprised because I figured, here we go, another minion build. But yeah, you have to get Void Forge, and you really should copy all the things Rusel says to put on your AG, which is the Mask of the Stitch Demon, I forgot what the gloves were called, and then also I'm copying his Merc, and it seems to be working really well. My Merc is doing very well. He's very strong. So all those things are going well. But one other thing that was just like a noob mistake that I didn't understand until playing the build is these gloves. So Triad Grip Mesh Gloves. You got to read sometimes, right, guys? So it says that you need to have the socket color matters for converting the damage to that thing, and you're trying to actually convert everything to lightning. So you want 4 sockets, all blues. At one point, I was like, well, why does he have an empty socket on his gloves? And so I moved my leap slam into that with faster attack so it would play a little bit smoother. And then my buddy was looking at my building. He's like, why do you have a red and a green? And I didn't even read that thing. So I hope that if anyone ends up playing this build, I hope like these little things I'm mentioning, either between the 9 link might be convincing you like, wow, this is cool. And then these other two things like, yeah, Void Forge is a little bit pricey. It is a lot cheaper if you can do a Valdo's map. I bought one the other day for 2 div. So yeah, it's a little bit, it feels wasteful when you put things on AGs, right? Same with Mask of the Stitch Demon. If you're going to try, another tip, if you're going to try to do a Valdo's map for Mask of the Stitch Demon, I think the only one that's not a voided map is, has an Abyss thing in it, and I tried running it, and it bugs, and you don't get the drop, so don't do that. Okay, but let's go back to the video. So let's check out the boss. And we have 14 weapons here, and I'm not clicking anything. They just come out on their own, and they're super strong. So there is a thing that could happen where they could drop off on a boss, and that can be really annoying, and there's ways to cheese that by putting a certain ring on your merc. In fact, I think my merc, let's check if my merc says, oh, I'm actually not even doing as much damage as I'm supposed to be doing because of that bug. See, now we're at 197. I'll actually be doing way more damage now, and I'm not even wearing Perquel's Toe. I could be doing way more damage with Lucky. I think that Lucky would apply to minions. I actually haven't researched that, but look at the damage. Really good. Really good. And I got blood there or something, but whatever. Yeah, so I'm not dying, by the way. I've been doing a lot of Flawless Breachstones. I've done a Simulacrum. I've done some T17s. I've done some Harbinger stuff. And have I done... I'm trying to remember if I've done any other Ubers. I've done, like, just Maven, Witness, Boss, what are they called? Invitations. But I haven't really been dying, and I've got 2 levels in the past couple days, just casually doing whatever I want. So, yeah, just pretty smooth, guys. Like, this is the auto... I think people like to call it an auto bomber, AFK, like that kind of play style. I've got Vol Haste up right now. That just died like instantly when I did Vol Haste. And I only had 11 guys out too. Yeah, I mean, you can see the damage when I put my Merc Ring back. The damage is just really good. It's really good. So let's grab this Rational Doctrine real quick. And actually, let's clear some more of this map, just so you guys can see more, because now that I switched the Merc to be correct, it'll theoretically look even a little bit different. Oh, you guys want to hear something pretty funny? I did this map the other day for some checking, whatever, and it dropped a synthesized... No, it dropped like a Fertile Mind corrupted, which is like this tiny chance that you could get a map modifier that says like synthesized items have a 10% chance to drop as corrupted. And so it dropped the very rare Rational Doctrine, which I don't know if you guys know this, but they lowered the drop rate of Rational Doctrine in this league, and it's also worth less, so it sucks, and everything about that sucks. The craziest thing happens, I actually get the drop, and it corrupts and hits into something else. I've never heard of anything like that before. As much as I want to pick up all this stuff off the ground, because I really do, I'm not going to, because I'm not going to do that to you guys. I value your time. I hope you value mine. So, unless it's something really good, I'm not going to pick anything up. But I do want to kill all this stuff. Like, things just explode. And in my other build, what I was really complaining about is, like, running and waiting. In this build, I'm just running and no waiting. Things are just dying. I can just run. I can do Flawless Breachstones and just run the whole time, and the guys kill everything as I'm running. I do not have to wait. It's super smooth. And actually, this is a cheaper build to get going than Animate Weapon of Self-Reflection. I think my Animate Weapon build, was like 300 div. And this one, I think you can get going on like 100 div, if I remember correctly. I ended up trying to invest a little bit more. Like, I got a better Adorned. I think my Adorned was like 150 div, just because I wanted a higher number. And I probably have a couple little things like that were maybe a little more expensive. Maybe a corruption here and there that was a little bit pricey. But there's so many things like that you don't even need them to get going. Those are just like nice to haves. The block chance is 78. The spell block is, oh wait, maybe block chance is 75 and spell block 78, I want to say. So that's, you're getting a lot of tankiness from that. You don't have a lot of life and energy shield, so your hit pool isn't super huge. Your resistances are pretty good. You know, especially when flasks are up. You're using Progenesis, so that helps a lot. And yeah, you know what, guys, I gotta say, this is coming from a pretty picky person, I would say. And like, especially, I'm gonna open that video back up again right here. At the beginning of the video, I'm showing my, like, I have an insane bit. My Tri-Charge Stacker build is just like absolutely about as good as it gets in this game. And like, here's me doing Flicker Strike on that build. This build's real. This build's just super, super good, super strong. It's like 2 mirrors worth of gear. I gotta say, do I think it's as good as that build? This guy, this Flicker Striking, and when he's doing Frenzy of Onslaught, not quite as good, but like, I mean, it's a way lower budget, and it's just fun, and it's just for a different build style. It's just actually fun. Where Animate Weapon was not fun. So that's it. That's all I gotta say. I really recommend this. I'll try to I'll put the Rusel thing in the guide, because I'm not the master. Like, he's like the, I've said this before about other builds, like the Big Daddy. Big Daddy's like the owner of the armor stacking community, kind of the king of it or whatever, right? And I feel like Rusel now is kind of like for that for like these chains of command builds. The one thing I will gripe though, before I forget to say this, the one gripe I have about this build is you kind of get to where I am right here, and there isn't really anything else you can invest into. And yesterday I sold 680 divines worth of ephemeral edges that I had in my bank here, and which is crazy. And I actually gambled them into House of Mirror cards and ended up going from 2 House of Mirror cards into 5. So I actually have the most currency I've had in a long time. I would love to buy something that would take this power level up even higher, but I can't find something like that. If you guys know of something, that would be like a huge step up. Like, I know my ring could be a lot better, but it's not going to really make the build a whole lot better. And I could get like a better crit chance on my Taz, but and you know, something like a double implicit on my Aegis Aurora. But all these like little things like that, I'm looking for something big. If you got, or multiple things that are big, maybe even a whole different gear change, something like that. So if you guys have any suggestions for me, I would have loved to make like a, you know, Rusel made his high-end version and I made like an ultra high-end that was even crazier. So I would consider making that video if you guys have some suggestions. So I'm done. Thanks, guys. Bye.